Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Hello, hello. Happy Saturday, my friends. Today is Saturday, December 20th. If you celebrate Christmas, only 5 more days. Crazy. Do you have your presents for your friends and your family? Or are you going to do some last minute shopping? Because I need to. My friends, welcome to our YouTube live sessions, Speak English in 30 Minutes. These sessions are always available to you on our YouTube channel. Go to our channel, go to our section Live, and you can watch all the previous lives. We also have a lot of other videos that you could watch and practice your English. So I encourage you to practice, follow along, practice your pronunciation, practice your speaking. Let's do it together. So my friends, first, let me know in the chat. I have the chat here. Let me know. Where are you joining from? Where are you joining from? Where are you joining from? I am joining from Boston. Where are you joining from? Let's see. Where are you joining from? Let's go. All right. Okay, my friends, let me know. Where are you joining from? Let's go. Let's get started. I also want to encourage you, stay the whole time for the class. Join us when you can, and always, if you can stay until the end, it's amazing. My friends, stay until the end of class and you can get a link to some extra special material. We have extra practice, extra exercises for you after, if you stay the whole class. So, let me know in the chat, where are you joining from? Let's see. Today, I want to talk about sustainability and the planet. Let's see. What is sustainability? Do you know how to be sustainable? And what is the planet? Well, we see here in this image, planet Earth. So, sustainability is taking care of the planet so people can live well now and in the future. The planet is Earth, where we live right now. We live on Earth. So, sustainability means taking care of Earth so that we can live here for a long time. When we protect nature, use less resources, materials, energy, and we make smart choices, we help the planet. When we waste too much or we pollute, it hurts the planet. We see when there is too much pollution. You see when there are a lot of trash, water bottles, plastic. It's a big problem. The smoke in the sky, it's not good. We need to protect our planet, or else we won't have anywhere to live. So today we'll do some vocabulary about sustainability, about the planet. What does it mean to recycle? What is eco-friendly? Trash or waste? So we'll talk about the environment. We'll talk about things we can do to help the environment. What can we do in our daily lives? What habits, healthy habits, can we create? And always, I encourage you to type in the chat, interact with us, practice your writing, practice your speaking. Always interact in the chat. I would love to see you guys type here in the chat. So let's go ahead. First, my first few vocabulary words, I have planet, and we talked about we are on planet Earth. We live on planet Earth, which is one of the only places that we've found that has human life. We don't have a lot of life forms around the world. We call this the solar system. We have the sun, and we have the moon, and we have all of the planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. So we know Pluto used to be a planet, but not anymore. Pluto is too small. But we live on planet Earth, and we need to take care of our planet, or else we don't have anywhere to live. How do we do that? We take care of the environment. The environment is the nature around us, the world. We have air, we have water, we have land. The earth is made up of so much water, we know that, and that water, if it's dirty, if it's polluted, the next word, then we cannot use it and we lose the resources that we have. So it is super important to take care of our environment. We need a healthy environment, a strong environment, a clean environment. Pollution. To be polluted. It is dirty air, dirty water, dirty land. The idea of dirty, it's not clean. There is a lot of smoke from the cars, from the factories, and now the air is not so clean. Maybe you see on your weather app on your phone, air quality. There's different air quality alerts. For example, in California, there are a lot of wildfires, and the fires create smoke, and it creates pollution, dirty air. Dirty water, when there is oil or gas that is spilled in the ocean. Maybe you've heard of an oil spill. It is so bad for the water, for the animals who live or use the water. It's really bad. Pollution on land. When you have a lot of trash on the side of the road, maybe you see, it's bad. It's not good. We want to clean our home. We don't want to pollute our home. So something we can do is we can recycle. My friends, this image right here, recycle. So we can use things again. You use something, you don't need to throw it away immediately. Sometimes, especially for example, a glass jar. You go to the store, you buy a jar of tomato sauce, pasta sauce, and you can use the jar again. You don't need to throw it away. You can recycle. So here in the United States, recycling is pretty popular. We have specific trash bin and recycle bin. We recycle paper, we recycle plastic, we recycle metal. There's a lot of things, glass, that can be recycled. Sometimes there are things that cannot be, unfortunately, and we must throw them in the trash. You can say trash, you can say waste. It's things we throw away. Sometimes not everything we throw away is trash, but it can be. So every day, for example, at home, you accumulate trash. You have trash in your kitchen, you throw away, you take outside. Waste is another word for trash. Then we have eco-friendly. The pronunciation here is eco-friendly. Eco is ecology, environment. It's good for the planet. Friendly, it's good. This is something like a reusable water bottle we'll talk about. This is eco-friendly. I am not throwing away a lot of plastic. I'm saving plastic. So this bottle is eco-friendly. Maybe even your electric vehicle, if you have one, can be eco-friendly. Your electric vehicle is not using gasoline, and so it can be more eco-friendly. I have a phrase here, save energy. So something that we all try to do, not only for the planet, but also for money in our wallet, is save energy. Use less electricity, use less gas. You don't need to use it so much all the time. Think about where you can save. For example, when I leave my home, I turn down the heat. I don't need the heat on so warm when I'm not home all day. So that's one way. Turning off lights? Crazy. Always turning off lights behind the children. Oh. And also, if you can take a bicycle, if you can walk instead of driving the car, that can help. There are many ways that you can save energy. Maybe you even have solar panels in your home. Then I have the word minimalism. So first, minimal, maximum, minimum. Minimum or minimalism is using less, buying only what you need. A lot of times we buy what we want, but not always what we want is what we need. You don't need it, you want it. Minimalism is saying, okay, I'm not going to buy this. I don't need so many things. I only need this. So there are people who live a minimalist lifestyle. They have very little things. Me, I need to try more. I am not so minimalist, but it is important to not use more than you need so that we all have enough. And then last word here I have is green city. So I have this image here as an example of a green city. Now, not every green city has all gardens on rooftop and 1,000 trees, but a green city is a city that cares about the nature. They protect their nature around them. They have many parks. They have a lot of safe riding for bicycles, maybe a lot of bicyclists, clean air. We see this more now as we see the pollution from cities and cars. So a green city might have a garden on a roof. I've seen a lot of stories about this. So if you Google green city, you'll see a lot of good examples. If you can find an example of a green city, it shows us what is possible for the future. So these are just some of the vocabulary words that we use today, but there are so many more. I wanted to ask you guys, type in the chat. I want to see here. Can you add any more vocabulary to our list? Any more words that I didn't say that you thought of? What is some vocabulary that you know? I'm looking at the chat here. So for example, I used the word solar panels. Here in this image, we see solar panels. And this is also a windmill, wind power. This is renewable energy. Renewable energy is something that can be renewed, it doesn't disappear. So for example, wind, we have a lot of wind. It is a renewable energy source. The sun is renewable energy. We don't just use and lose. For example, oil, gas, petrol, any word you use, oil is not renewable. It will eventually run out. We will not have more. So, one word, one phrase you can add: renewable energy, solar power, wind power. Is there anything else that you can add here? Let's see. I'll keep an eye on the chat. You guys can always type in there. Let me see. Okay, so here. I try to take care of the planet in small ways because I'm just one person. I cannot do so many things all the time, but I do my best, like we all do. I believe personally that everybody can help the environment, even with some simple actions. It does not need to be complicated, expensive, elaborate. It can be simple. At home, I try my best to recycle paper and plastic. There is a bin at my apartment complex that I can recycle. I try my best always to have less waste and throw away less trash. When I see the trash so full, I feel so bad. So I try to do my best to use less plastic. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. But I try my best. When I see a lot of pollution, when I see a lot of smoke, the plastic in the street, I don't love it, of course. It makes me sad. Why do people do this? Why can't we clean? So it's a collective job of the people. I try to be eco-friendly by saving water, saving energy. I always turn off the lights when I don't need them. I think of my dad. My dad always, turn off the light, you don't need. All the time. And water, for example, when you're brushing your teeth, you can turn off the water. You don't need to run the water. It's wasting. I like the idea, as I said, of minimalism. I don't maybe follow this so closely, but I love the idea. I think if we all can adapt and become more minimalist, you don't have to be super minimalist. But if you can follow some of these habits, it is good. Buying less and using what I already have. I have a lot of things. I can reuse them. Someday, maybe, I would like to live in a green city. Right now, I don't know if I would like to live in a big city if it's not green, because I love nature. I would like to live in a green city with more trees, clean air, good public transportation. Boston is getting there, I think. Boston does have many parks, many trees. The public transportation is it maybe takes a while, but there is many options. There is the train, there is the bus, there's a couple different ways to transport yourself. So what I would love to see in Boston is more gardens. I would love to see fresh fruit and vegetables available for people, that they can travel so close in their city and still feel like they are in nature. Because for me, when I go to the city, I feel sometimes a disconnection with nature. So a green city makes a big difference. It says here, small actions may feel small, but together they make a big difference. If we all do these things, we all recycle, we all use less plastic, we save water, this can make a huge difference. So what are some actions you can take to be more sustainable? Think about it. Think about your environment, where you are, what you have access to. Because I also understand it's not so easy sometimes. Not every place, for example, I don't live in Boston, I live in another small town. I need a car. I cannot ride my bicycle to work, or it would take forever and be so cold. So I do need to drive a car still, but I can take other actions. I can recycle, I can save water, I can carpool if I need to ride with someone else. So I want you to think about what are some actions that you can do to be more sustainable. Type in the chat, my friends. Type in the chat. So I want you to use these vocabulary words as much as possible. Practice writing, practice speaking, even if it's with yourself in a video. Practice. So I want you guys to type in the chat. One eco-friendly habit I practice is, for example, recycling. For example, taking the train instead of driving the car. I recycle, this could be very open. I recycle plastic. I recycle because. I recycle often. You can finish this with many ideas. The third sentence, pollution is a problem because. We know it's a problem. Tell me why. Why is pollution a problem? And you could even add, how can we solve this problem? Pollution is a problem because it can hurt or even kill animals. For example, the wildfires, the smoke can really kill animals. The oil in the ocean can kill the fish. What is a solution? Well, maybe trying to help pass more laws to protect. For example, in politics, environmentalism is a very big topic. We want to know how our politicians will support us and support the environment. So, one solution is fighting for the law to save. It can also be picking up trash on the side of the road. There are different solutions. Think about all the solutions that there are to pollution. A solution for pollution. A nice rhyme to practice. Another thing you can type in the chat. I save energy by turning off the lights when I'm not in the room. By turning down the heat when I leave the house. By not turning on my car when it's so cold to heat up by waiting. So, these are super important. Try to think about all the ways that you can save energy in your home, in your daily life. The last sentence I have here, a green city has? A green city has many parks. A green city has clean air. Try to finish all of these sentences, all 5, with your own ideas. What English do you already know that you can use? Because you know, I know you know. Do your best to practice the vocabulary you have. Then you can learn new vocabulary. I also encourage you, this is just some of the vocabulary, but we have more back here, my friends. We have trash, we have minimalism, we have planet, we have recycle, we have environment. Try using all of your vocabulary words in sentences. Make them real for you. When you make them real for you, then you can connect the word and you produce and you use the word. So I always encourage you to practice using these words in your conversations. So, for example, let's create another sentence with a different word. We have minimalism. I need to practice more minimalism in my life. I don't need new clothes. I have a lot of clothes. I don't need new clothes. Maybe I want. I don't need. I have one jacket that is good for many outfits. I don't need to change. So I need to practice more minimalism in my life. Trash, waste. There are a lot of landfills, which is an area that we collect trash. There are a lot of landfills, which is an area that we collect trash. And then that teaches you another vocabulary word, landfill. So again, my friends, always use these words in a story, in a sentence. Make it relatable. You can also think of 3 small things that people can do every day to help the planet. For example, it's super important to use reusable water bottles, like I have here, to save plastic bottles. There are so many plastic bottles in the ocean. Wow, a lot. It's bad. Google and you see. So, using a metal or a different plastic, a harder plastic bottle, saves from using more. You don't need to buy a bunch of water bottles if you have a good metal bottle that lasts. So that is one thing, small thing, that you can do every day to help the planet. My friends, there's a lot of different things you can do. I want to say thank you so much for joining today. I'm going to send a link in the chat. Give me one moment to get that here for you. And then we can get started. Here. Okay. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I'm just trying to get to the chat here. My chat was logged out. Sorry. Okay. Give me one moment, my friends. So sorry about that. So sorry about that. Let's see here. There we go. And then I got it for you, my friends. Sorry, I was logged out. Logged out. Here we go. So if you follow this link here in the chat, my friends, this will take you to an evaluation. You can fill out what you enjoyed, what you want to see more, and you can receive more material from today's lesson. So thank you so much. We'll see you next Saturday. In the meantime, because the next Saturday is after Christmas, if you celebrate, Merry Christmas. If you don't, Happy Holidays. There's so many holidays happening. And even if there's no holidays for you, enjoy. Have a great week. We'll see you next Saturday at 10 a.m. Boston time. See you, my friends. Enjoy.